Good day and welcome to Natural Health Dialogue. And we're on week 4 this month on the new routine. So you're getting today a deep dive with Naturopathic Doctor Anderson into a particular area of natural health. And this time we're going to talk about, it's not Valentine's Day or Mother's Day. We're going to talk about flowers. Okay. I know, but maybe you haven't heard what flowers can do for your health, but you might be surprised. You ever ask yourself, is there a supplement or is there something I can do natural health wise for my emotions? Well, hey, this is the episode for you. Naturopathic Dr. Anderson, what are we talking about?
This is a topic that is very exciting to me. It's one of my favorites. And that is because we are spirit, soul, and body. And when we're talking about holistic health, which is what Dr. Lee and I, that is our goal for 2021, as natural health practitioners, we know that for you to be able to have true health, we have to address all three of those of our being. And so, in our natural health dialogues, we've talked about things that we can do to help support body systems, support immune, and so things to help keep the body healthy and to help heal the body, to help the body to go through its natural healing processes, to support it, to nourish. But so often our emotions get put aside. In fact, for many of us, emotions are they're kind of something we don't even want to talk about. And I think it's really important because it's so connected to our physical health. I mean, stress, for example, we can have emotional stress, but we can have that manifest through physical symptoms in our body, headaches, right. So emotions and where we are emotionally is something that is so important to really get the true holistic health. The word emotion comes from the Latin root of emovere, which means to move, remove, or agitate. So really, our emotions were given to us by God to help move us or prompt us in to move in something, to evoke emotion, which is where we get emotion. And contrary to popular belief, emotions are not something that lie to us. In the sense, I remember listening to a pastor say one time that we cry at a movie and it's not even real. So your body does not even, it doesn't understand if when it has the response, it doesn't understand if something is real or not. So, people began to, think that emotions are not something that need to guide us or lead us. And that is true. But I also think there's something that they're like the engine light. They're telling us that something is not right. Just like the engine light on our car, it's telling us that something needs some attention, and it prompts us to take care of whatever needs to be done. And so that's what emotions do to us. It's not that our emotions lie to us, it's our thought process through that. So emotions are something that I feel like we really need to get a grasp on, and to really take a look at how they affect us physically. My blog is so much more. I really encourage the listeners to go to my blog. I've really kind of, laid things out a little more than what we have time, to talk about here. So really what we're going to be talking about with this segment of the Holistic Dialogues is how emotions tie into our physical health. And we're going to talk about certain flower essences. Flower essences are what we call a vibrational remedy. And I know that can kind of sound strange, but I want to just call attention to there are other things that we use. X-ray. There are some vibrational electric nerve stimulations that physicians use to treat pain. So the use of vibrations is nothing new. I just don't think we've talked a whole lot about it as far as plants and utilizing plants. Flower essences were first developed by Dr. Edward Bach. He was an English doctor He was born in 1886, but he became frustrated when he saw that physicians were primarily focusing on the pathology. And in his own observations with his patients, he began to notice how their emotional state was affecting their ability to heal. And so through that process of observing, he was one that actually began to develop the idea of using certain flowers or certain plants in order to help his patients to heal, to overcome some of their emotional stagnation, if you will, so that they would be able to have that healing process in their emotions, and then they would have they were able to heal quicker. There's an American journalist. His bio is really interesting. He was an American journalist in the 70s and the 80s, Norman Cousins, and he just believed in optimism. He believed in hope, but he began to study just the connection between how one was feeling, their emotions, and their physical body. And if our listeners have an opportunity to look him up, it's really interesting. He had some pretty serious health issues, but he was able to utilize some natural things to not only help with his body, but emotions. One of the things that he did was he watched comedy series to laugh, because he believed that laughter was truly medicine. And so it's really interesting if our listeners were to look him up, and he has an interesting testimony. But again, just an example of how that has been studied, and a process has been created in order to help us heal emotionally, that helps us physically. So we're going to through this year, each month we're going to be talking about a specific flower, the flower essence, and how that it can be utilized and help us to overcome maybe some emotional barriers that can help us really experience some true health in the body as well.
So this talk today is kind of an overview of flower essences.
Yes, just an introduction. And again, like I said, my blog is it's much more detailed. And so I really encourage the listeners to go to our Facebook page, and under resources, there's you can open up the podcast, or you can open up the blog, and I just go in much more detail about Dr. Bach, his history, and how the flower essences are created, because it's not actually the plant itself that is being utilized, but these vibrational remedies that we were talking about. So
we don't just grab a daisy petal and chow down on it.
No, you might get some nutrients from that, but no, this is a little bit different process. You're not actually using the plant itself. You're using the vibrations. And again, my blog explains the theory and the idea behind that a little more in depth. But it really is an interesting topic. And it really is amazing to me that our Creator provided something for us that is natural and helpful, and we don't have to turn to things that can be harmful for our bodies. So I just think it's a wonderful it's a wonderful addition to holistic health, and so I'm quite excited about it.
Do you use them yourself?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So you'll be speaking not only from intellectual and scholarly knowledge, but from experience as well.
Yep, exactly.
Excellent.
So yes, again, I'm very excited about being able to share this. This is something that I love. I love this portion because, again, I just don't believe that we can dissect the human being. We're three parts, and we need to address all three of those.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, Dr. Anderson. We're winding down to a close here. Looking forward to the next edition of the flower essences in our new routine in the coming year. And thank you all for listening. Thank you, Dr. Anderson, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Joseph.